And hello, everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Tuesday, April 16th. I'm Michael Taylor. Did everybody get your taxes in? Everybody pay up? You better have. You got that postmark on for yesterday. Hope you did that. Hope everything went well. We got a great show for us today. We want to talk to our CEO, Siobhan Foster from Village Management Services. Going to update us on a number of things, some great employees to highlight, and also talking about the costs of Village Television and other broadband services right here in our community. You're going to want to pay attention to that one too. And then later in the program, we're going to be going the heart of rock and roll, a great tribute band. I had a conversation with the lead singer who's coming here this weekend to play right here at the PAC, so stay tuned for that as well. Hey, we got an important update for you. You know, we love the grass that we have here in the village, but it does, take up a lot of water, and there's new state laws. California legislators signed into law Assembly Bill 1572, which bans the irrigation of non-functional turf grass. So, over there at Third Landscape Committee, they are looking to get some folks in here, 2 residents, each from Gate 11 and 14, to act as advisors to support the committee through the turf reduction process in those areas and ensure that the residents are kept abreast of important development and changes to AB 1572. If you'd like to serve as an advisor to those committees, you can do so by applying to email and make sure the information in there about your bio and landscaping services administrator. Megan Felice is going to be taking those. Send it to that email, or you can, and you need to do that, of course, by Monday, 5 p.m. on May 20th. So make sure you get that in there. You can also call the number on the screen as well. All right. Let's take a look outside at some greenery out there we have. Some beautiful trees and nice rain we've had. We haven't worried about drought for a little while now. It's pretty great. And we got some great temperatures for you today as well. 74 today, 73 tomorrow, and then a little cooler, but still pretty nice. No rain in the forecast, which is fantastic. I'm liking it. Let's take a look at our sunrise and our sunset photo while we're at it. Great beach day. Thank you very much, Ben Givens, and he sent that picture from Corona Del Mar. Our sunrise this morning was 6:18. Sunset tonight, it's getting later and later, 7:23. That's going to be fun if our late night walks after work, things like that. If you'd like to send us a picture of a sunrise, sunset, pets, places, whatever it might be, make sure you send it right here to us at Laguna Woods Village TV at gmail.com. Include your name, where you took the picture, and we will include it in our sunrise, sunset segment. All right, we got a meeting to tell you about. Then when we come back, we'll be talking to Village Management Services CEO, Siobhan Foster. Stay with us.
Do you suffer from low back pain? Hoag Orthopedic Institute is the #1 provider of orthopedic and spine care in Orange County. Our Back to You program is a unique, non-operative, evidence-based approach to treating low back pain. Our spine strengthening program combines physical therapy with education on pain and nutrition. Let Hoag Orthopedic Institute's Back to You program get you back to doing what you love. For more information, visit hoiexperts.com/spine or call 855-999-4641 to find a doctor.
Every month we like to check in with Village Management Services, see what's going on here in the village, and we want to welcome Siobhan Foster, our CEO for VMS. Thanks for joining us, as always.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Now, we got a big kind of issue that's coming up at the FCC, and it's about broadband bulk billing. We have a system here in the village that we use, but there could be some major changes to that if the FCC gets its way, I suppose.
That's correct. There's an FCC proposal. Again, that's the Federal Communications Commission, and it is to ban bulk billing arrangements in apartments, condominiums, housing corporations, and other multi-tenant communities. And here in Laguna Woods Village, we're one of the few HOAs that has its own broadband network.
Right.
And we're also a member of a consortium, the National Content and Technology Cooperative, and we buy our programming through that consortium to keep our prices low.
Right, so we exercise that bulk billing practice here, right, in terms of like negotiating the best price for internet services, broadband, television, all of those things, right?
Correct.
And so that could go away. That seems like a challenge for us.
It certainly is.
We wouldn't want that. So what are some of the arrangements that we have for condos and HOAs and those kinds of things?
First of all, I want to mention that our
Sure.
current budget for programming is $4.5 million in 2024. And the ban of bulk billing would nearly triple the cost to the village.
Okay.
So $4.5 million this year, and we're looking at possibly a triple of the cost if this FCC proposal moves forward.
Right, because those negotiated deals for the bulk prices just go away, right? And that would be kind of crazy for us.
Correct. So we're really asking our residents to help us by contacting our representatives to express their support for bulk billing arrangements and concern for the adverse impact this could have on the village, especially those on fixed incomes.
Right, absolutely. So folks can contact Congresswoman Young Kim, and we have her website up there, as well as U.S. Senator Alex Padilla, and the website's up there as well.
Correct. And then we also have the FCC Commissioner contact information, the House Subcommittee on Communications and Technology, and the Senate Subcommittee on Communications, Media, and Broadband. So we encourage a broad outreach to our representatives as well as those folks listed on the screen before you.
Yeah, it can make a big impact and big changes here in the community. So, and lots of more costs, which nobody wants, right?
Correct.
We're going to do our best to avoid that. All right, well, thanks for covering that for us.
Sure.
Asbestos abatement, there's a process that we have, but we want to maybe see if we can simplify that here in some of the manners, right?
Right. We've been trying to schedule a meeting or a town hall with the AQMD, the Air Quality Management District, who governs this process. They've been unwilling or unable to attend a town hall meeting. So in lieu of that, we are partnering with the city and the AQMD to try to clarify the process and provide members the information they need to expedite and complete alterations. So to that end, we're asking residents to share their questions, confusion about the abatement process for asbestos, and to email those questions to alterations@vmsinc.org by April 29th, and to include asbestos in the subject line when they send those emails.
And maybe even folks who've actually gone through the process and they give some feedback on, hey, here's where you go here, here's the tough part we'd love to streamline or something like that. Like they've gone through it and like here are the do's and don'ts and the pitfalls of this process, right?
Certainly, that would be great. And the end result will be an easy to reference brochure for our residents and their contractors.
That would be great. Okay. We have a community tour. We used to have docents and we used to do those things, but now it's all virtual video, right?
Yes, we've our Media and Communications Division has partnered with Village Television to produce a community tour experience. It's a digitized docent tour of the village for primarily prospective residents. It's about 20 minutes long, and it takes viewers to all the destinations that the tour used to go to, and then some. And it's now available on the village website. You click on the community tour experience link, and that's on the homepage.
And this is kind of like it's a great tour, great video, but it also was a cost saving, right, to the community, as we had docents, we had the vans, we had all those kinds of things, appointments, and it was kind of a process to organize those tours.
Correct, and then oftentimes people would cancel, and then we'd be left with vacancies and so forth. So we're giving this a try.
Okay, well, let's see how it goes.
Thank you.
Speaking of people who have good ideas and some good suggestions, we have Employee Excellence Awards. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So these awards are presented in the fall and the spring, and yesterday we had the spring award ceremony. These awards recognize outstanding employees who demonstrate excellent customer service, achieve great results on projects, and regularly go above and beyond regular job duties. They're professionals who simply make a difference in our community. And I'd like to highlight them and hope that our residents would thank them the next time they interact with them.
Well, you got one right there in your own office.
I do.
I bet you're familiar with this person.
Yes, the first recipient is Paul Wynn. He's our Assistant Corporate Secretary. And as everyone knows, the governance process here is complex. And over the past few months, Paul demonstrated exceptional leadership. Our office was down to one employee for a happy occasion, a maternity leave. But Paul was able to keep all the trains running on time and on track by leveraging help when he needed it, coordinating with all the different departments and stakeholders, including the board presidents. So we just want to recognize Paul for his outstanding.
And I'm familiar with Paul's name because a lot of times I'll read announcements about who to contact, and it's Paul Nguyen in the CEO's office. So I know he does a lot of work and works with a lot of residents in the associations as well.
He does. Another unsung hero is Scott Kim. He's a stock clerk in our warehouse, and he's been diligently rearranging the warehouse layout and shelving to maximize available space. He's added 15 plus racks to the warehouse in the past year.
Wow.
And allowed for a 100% increase in holding capacity for washers and dryers deployed in the mutuals.
Well, that saves you from having to get a whole other building for that, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's done a great job. In general services, we recognized Neva Farmbra, I'm sorry if I mispronounced her name. She's a bus driver. She was recognized by her supervisor due to her exceptional performance driving and caring for residents with respect, kindness, and patience.
Yeah, and that's a great, in a community like this, with all the different folks and their different mobility needs and those kinds of things, it's wonderful that Neva, takes the time and makes sure she's making everybody feel a little bit special, which is great.
She does, and some of the letters we get about her are just really heartwarming.
Ah, that's terrific. Now this guy, I don't know about this one. I want to make was there a vote? Can we get a recount?
Preston Higgins is a production coordinator here in Village Television, and he's been recognized numerous times for his professionalism and the quality of his work by residents, by peers, and by clients. And I just would like to read one example from a Village resident. I just watched Discovering Laguna Woods show that aired at 9:30. Well done. It was interesting and informative, but better yet, the quality was excellent.
There we go. I know Preston very well, working with every day, so he knows I'm joking around. He's a great guy.
We also recognized Guadalupe Hinojosa. He's a Village Television broadband technician, and he's incredibly dependable, knowledgeable, and passionate about his job and work duties. Paul Ortiz gave a great example of how he assisted during a large Edison outage. He made sure everything went as best as it could and stayed on scene until the outage was resolved.
That's terrific.
In our Human Resources Department, Dan Yost, our risk manager, was recognized. He was recognized for delivering results on time and achieving cost savings while managing the village's insurance portfolio. And he also has taken on additional responsibilities, such as outsourcing our safety program for our employees. And this is providing a greater level of expertise and more redundancy so our employees can have a safe workplace.
Sounds like a lot of folks doing terrific work and stepping up, and landscaping is doing that as well.
Yes. One example is Omar Cardiel. He's a foreman for one of our ticket crews. He consistently goes above and beyond to ensure landscaping practices are executed with precision and care. And he has an infectious, positive attitude that motivates his team.
Oh, that's fantastic. And we got another one from landscaping, too.
We do. Francisco Uribe is our go-to person for our mulch program. He is responsible solely for producing the mulch that is dispersed throughout our community, not only taking the clippings and generating the mulch, but making sure we stay in line with all the regulations that we must adhere to.
Okay, terrific. And then over in maintenance construction, which is, I'm sure, a challenging place to work sometimes.
Yes. We have Jolene Quinn. She's an operations specialist. She was hired originally as a temporary employee to process a backlog of damage restoration contract invoices. She came in, learned quickly, worked through that backlog, and now she's a permanent employee who's tasked with processing the most complex cases. She has great attention to detail and can work through anything.
Terrific. And also in maintenance and construction?
Yes, Gavin Fogg is a manor alterations supervisor. He's a conscientious contributor and has really worked to improve customer services in that area and identify efficiencies.
Yeah, and he's so busy, he's working so much he couldn't even stand still for a picture. He did not have the time.
In our recreation and special events department, the golf manager recognized Martin Ford. He's the golf shop coordinator. He's a resident employee who has taken on a leadership role in that area. He's streamlined processes on the business side of the golf course with a focus on the monthly billings. And his efforts has allowed that operation to also manage now our garden centers.
Terrific.
We also had Ron Spencer, a senior recreation leader, recognized in recreation for creating a faster, more accurate, and user-friendly process to recognize utilization data at each of our facilities and amenities. And then he took it a step further and trained all the recreation staff on how to use the new
Wow.
tool.
There we go. And then resident service is an important part of what we do here, right?
Yes. Rebecca Kunciaki is our concierge at the front desk down in the community center, and she's made a huge difference in a short time. She has genuine compassion and concern for everybody she encounters, and she has just been a superstar and is always being recognized by our residents.
And then we got a last couple of from security services, which is a vital role that we do here in the village.
Yes. In the compliance division, we have Bliselda Wright, a compliance supervisor. She performs at an exceptional rate on a daily basis and is often called on to handle special projects. One is by coordinating the governance aspect and serving as staff liaison for special damage restoration hearings. So in addition to her regular work, she's taken on an extra 25 to 35 cases a week and staffs a full-time meeting on Thursdays.
Okay. Last but not least.
Exactly. Bridget Portuguese is a security patrol officer here in the village, and she's been recognized for her highest level of customer service. 2 examples were cited, both where she helped residents who were locked out of their manors. In one case, she used her personal cell phone to contact a locksmith to assist the resident who was in tears. And in the other, she used available resources to locate the emergency contact who was able to come and provide a key to the resident. So again, just want to thank these exceptional employees and encourage our residents to thank them too if they should interact with them.
Great service-minded employees, a great list there. Siobhan Foster from Village Management Services, thank you very much for joining us, as always.
Thank you.
We'll see you next month.
Sounds good.
All right, tribute band for Huey Lewis and the News is up next. Stay with us. Harder rock and roll, Back to the Future, all sorts of fun stuff about Huey Lewis and the News. Well, let me tell you something. Our next guest is keeping that harder rock and roll alive right here in Orange County.
Yep.
Want to welcome Roger Langdon to the program. And you are the front man for Huey. Tell us a little bit about the origin of that.
It's a pretty interesting story. So back in 2012, 2013, I've been in bands for many, many years, and I would kind of try to sound like an artist. So if I was doing a cover of a song by Bruce Springsteen, I'd try to sound like
a little more gravelly,
a little bit
more whatever.
Yeah, kind of a vocal impression. So one person mentioned I kind of sound like Huey Lewis. Another one said I kind of looked like him, maybe not as much as I might today. But so it just kind of morphed into that. We kind of thought, let's do a tribute band, which was becoming a really big thing over the past decade or 2 decades. So it kind of became a thing that just took off for us.
Yeah, and you know, Huey Lewis, it's kind of funny. I remember they had Do You Believe in Love and a couple other hit songs. Then the harder rock and roll came out, and then Back to the Future pretty much at the same time, right? And they just blew up.
Yeah.
They went crazy like in 1985 or 84 or so. And it was just nuts. I was in high school at the time. I remember them. You couldn't turn on the radio, and within 10 minutes, there was a Huey Lewis song on the radio.
They got about as big as you can get for a good, like you said, a 3 to 4 year period. In '84, everybody owned, you know, the sports album by Huey Lewis and the News. They owned Born in the USA. They owned Thriller.
Right.
And probably Madonna's album. Those were like the albums everybody had. So, yeah, it was the second biggest album in '84, right behind Thriller.
Yeah.
Nobody was going to beat Thriller. So it was a battle for second place, and Huey won that battle.
Sport, that's right,
Yeah.
Sport. Well, I remember that now. Yeah, that's the name of that album. And so, when did you first discover Huey Lewis? I mean, were you just a fan coming up along the way?
Yeah, I mean, I was in high school when sports came out and Huey Lewis started and MTV started.
Right.
And they were big with video and really just had fun with the whole thing. They never took themselves super seriously. So right in my wheelhouse, I was prime audience for Huey Lewis the News.
Okay. Now you have a performance coming up here at the Performing Arts Center. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we're actually very excited because we're returning. We're not to the Performing Arts Center, but to Laguna Woods Village. We played here back in 2019, had a fantastic time, and so we're really excited to be back. It's going to be a great show. Every hit by Huey Lewis the News is going to get heard. If you're a fan, you're going to know all the songs. But we also do a lot of covers because they did in their shows.
Oh, okay.
So even if you're not a huge Huey Lewis fan, you're going to hear songs by other artists that Huey Lewis used to cover as well.
Now you had the opportunity to actually meet Huey Lewis, right? Yeah. Tell me about that story.
Many times. So yeah, it happened actually pretty early on. We were doing shows for maybe a year or two, put some videos out there on YouTube and stuff, and then a wife of one of the founding members of Huey Lewis the News emailed us. And this was only a couple of years in, and I was, she kind of said, "Do you ever play in Minnesota?" Because that's where they lived at that time. Okay. And I said, "No, but we'd love to come out there. So if you know a venue, let us know. We'll get you a T-shirt." So she emails me within 5 minutes saying, "Well, I'm actually married to the keyboard player, and they really love what you guys are doing." And that we were way rougher a couple years in than we are now. So we really appreciated it. Since then, we've become friends with them. Her husband, the keyboard player, Sean Hopper, lives in Minnesota. My wife is from Minnesota, so when we visit my wife's family, we visit with them. They came and saw the show just a few months ago in Nashville. And
what's that like, though, being in front of a band member from the original?
It was a total surprise. It was probably better that I didn't know.
Okay.
So I looked down and to the left in the front row, and there he was sitting there, and I said, "That looks just like Sean Hopper." And I went, "Oh, that is Sean Hopper." It was a great show. I asked him after the show, he's seen videos, but he's never seen it live. I said, "What'd you think?" He said, "Well, I have stood behind and played behind Huey Lewis for almost 50 years. He goes, "You look and sound and move so much like him. It was creepy."
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it was a great endorsement. It really just kept us pumped to do this. Now we do it more out of respect and wanting to keep that music alive because we know the guys now.
Right. Well, speaking of live, we have a video. So let's take a look at we're going to take a look at the video real quick and then come back and talk about what it's like being on the stage.
Absolutely.
That's some pretty good stuff. Not only are you doing the music and you're doing it fantastic, but you're playing the part. You're wearing the outfits people remember from the videos. You're doing his moves up there. I mean, this is it's not just a vocal impression. It's a body impression, right?
As I said, tributes have really become a thing over the last 10, 15, maybe 20 years. And not knowing the tribute world before, and I just kind of dove in, I never thought not doing it all the way was not an option.
Oh, okay.
So we kind of went, we're going to go all the way. We're going to do a full-on impersonation. And so my frame of reference was the Elvis impersonators that when I was a kid. Those guys took it serious. Now, there was a lot of corny guys out there.
Yeah, they were corny, but they were legit. They had the outfits. Yes. They were on the stage. They were doing the moves.
Yeah, and when one guy could really nail Elvis's sound and look, that guy became pretty well known. He went to the front of the line there. So we thought that's the way to do it. We need to do this legit. I need to fully go with the outfits, not wear a wig, grow the hair out, get it the color closer to his, try to be as authentic as we could. Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. Tell me a little bit about your band. You have some legit guys in there too. It's not just you. I mean, you're doing a great job, but these guys are some performers in the background.
I'm now officially the weakest link in this lineup at this point. So, yeah, the band started with a lot of local guys, and after a while, the news spread that there was this really quality tribute band, and what we found out was musicians really like Huey Lewis and the News. And so they're very respected among musicians. They really like the music, and so we started to branch out across the country. A couple of our guys moved to Nashville, and so through their network at that point, the word started to spread more. Our sax player, Steve Nieves, who's been with us for about 8 years now, he plays with Jim Messina on tour of Loggins and Messina. So you could see him right now with Jim Messina on tour. Our keyboard player, when he's not playing with Carrie Underwood in Las Vegas or on tour with Carrie Underwood, plays with us.
Okay.
So we've got some pretty heavyweight guys in that band now. So, and they love doing it. They're just a big fan of playing this music.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, Huey Lewis doesn't tour anymore because Huey had some vocal challenges, some medical things that were going on, and he can't really sing anymore.
It's actually it was a
hearing thing, right?
Hearing thing, yeah.
Okay.
He has what's diagnosed as, it's called Meniere's disease. He had lost hearing in one ear back in the 80s, and so he really only had one ear all through his career. And then in 2018, he got diagnosed, and he basically lost the hearing in his other ear. He lost frequencies. He can hear, but he can't sing because he can't hear the pitch, and he can't hear.
He can't find his note.
Exactly.
Right.
So he has very bad days. He has not great days. So yeah, they had to stop touring in 2018. They had been touring for 40 straight years.
Right. It was a nonstop. I remember I'd hear, hey, they're coming to town. They're going to be at the fairgrounds or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah, and so that was a big blow for them as a whole organization. I mean, that was an industry for, those guys were an industry and a business, and so the business kind of went away. So, yeah, we've been really honored to keep the music going.
Yeah, that's what was going to be my next question. What's it like to be kind of carry that on, knowing that they would love to be out there, but they can't do it anymore? Yeah,
that's why I say we've started to. When that happened, and the fact that we got to know them and kind of be friends with them, we really felt, I'm sure we put it on ourselves, they didn't put it on us, but that we kind of want to continue their legacy as much as we possibly can. There's other Huey Lewis tributes. There weren't when we started. There was kind of none. Now there's a few more around the country. Objectively, I'd like to think we're about the best there is. We call ourselves the #1 tribute.
Well, there you go.
One, we've been doing it longer than any other. Two, the band really seems to like what we do, and I think we're doing it very authentically.
Okay. Well, I want to hit it one more time before we go.
Sure.
It's going to be Huey Lewis and the News tribute, Saturday, April 20th at Performing Arts Center, 7:30. It's going to be out there. A great show, as you can see from the videos, folks, and a great front man. Thank you, Roger, for coming in and talking to us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Huey.
Yeah, it's all right. People call me that when I'm at the grocery store. It's totally fine.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Hi, it's Desiree from Frank's Irvine Subaru, where everyone is family. Subaru has a vehicle for all your family needs, and the 8-passenger Ascent fits the whole family.
Forester, perfect for the family vacation.
Outback, great for weekend getaways.
Crosstrek and Impreza, great for daily surf commutes.
WRX, best in motor class performance.
Safe quality value and award-winning service department. Complimentary maintenance on all new Subarus.
And that's going to do it for us. Tomorrow on the program, we have Watermark Luna Nagel and the Bridge Club. For all of us here at Village Television, we hope you make this day a great one.